So, I'm going to read what I just wrote, and I think that this perfectly explains my opinion towards the US election. And we're screwed. In America, we just elected a bigoted, authoritarian nativist into the most powerful position in the world. And the party that elected him now makes up the majority of the Senate. And the party that elected him now just makes up the majority of the House of Representatives. And the party that elected him now makes up the majority of the Supreme Court, and they are not going to stand up to him. They have no backbone, no principles, no line that they won't cross. All of our rights, no matter who you are, is in jeopardy right now. Our rights as Americans are in danger. My rights as a black man are in danger because he wants to put in stop and frisk. The rights of Latinos are in danger because he's going to act on the hateful rhetoric that he spewed. The rights of Muslims are in danger because he wants to ban them from entering the country based on their religion, which if he has the power to ban them from entering the country, he has the power to ban them from the country. The rights of women are in danger now because he doesn't think abortion is a right and thinks it should be illegal, and that you should be locked up if you get an abortion. The rights of gays are in danger because you have Mike Pence as the vice president, a man who believes in gay conversion therapy and put in law in Indiana that it's okay to discriminate against gay people in your businesses. The rights of the everyday average American straight white male is in danger because Trump is against free speech, and free speech is for all of us. Our economy is in jeopardy now because he wants to start a trade war with China that will bankrupt our country. Our international relationships are in jeopardy now because he wants to burn bridges with China, Mexico, all of the countries in the Middle East, and all of NATO. Our foreign neighbors are in jeopardy now because we just elected a man who has actively advocated for torture and committing war crimes against our enemies. Our healthcare systems are in jeopardy now because Trump plans on repealing Obamacare and taking away millions of people's healthcare and not replacing it. And Trump supporters, you have no moral ground to stand on. Okay, you claimed Hillary was corrupt, but you voted for a man who bragged about being a part of pay-to-play corruption, bribing a Florida attorney general. You claimed Hillary was a criminal, but you voted for a man who was going to court in November for fraud, who has stolen from people his entire life. You claimed Hillary was wrong for accepting money from Saudi Arabia and Qatar, considering they're the largest violators of human rights in the world. But when Trump is accepting money from Russian investors, and there's strong evidence of this, Russia being part of one of the largest violators of human rights, you remain silent? You claimed Hillary bought off the media, ignoring the fact that Trump has basically gained billions of dollars of free advertising. You claimed the election was rigged, even though Hillary just lost. You claimed Hillary lost because it was the will of the people, even though she lost the popular vote and had it stolen from her. You claimed Hillary was responsible for voting for the Iraq war, but you just put a man that thinks we can bomb Syrian warships and not go to war. You claimed Hillary would destroy America in a world war, but you just gave a man that couldn't pledge not to use nuclear weapons the nuclear codes when we are at war with 7 different countries. You claimed Hillary laughed at a child after she was raped when she was a lawyer. You voted for a man that was about to be put on trial for rape, but when the accuser had to drop the case because she was afraid for her life, and also he's been accused of sexual assault by 15 different women, a crime which he has admitted that he does on tape. You claimed Hillary was supported by groups that you said were racist and regressive, like Black Lives Matter. But when Trump gets support from the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white nationalists, you don't even bat an eye? You claimed Hillary was a part of the establishment and therefore inherently bad, but when Trump boasts, starts his campaign boasting about being a part of the establishment and paying his political opponents for favors, this doesn't withdraw support? If you really cared about the establishment, you wouldn't have voted for a businessman that's part of the political establishment. If your infrastructure is being eaten by termites, you don't burn the house down. If you really cared about corruption, you wouldn't have voted for a man that says he's corrupt and proud of it. A wolf in sheep's clothing can't be trusted to protect the herd. If you really cared about a criminal being in the White House, you wouldn't have voted for a man that's been sued for fraud. There are crimes in business, you know that, right? If you really cared about anybody in this world, you wouldn't have voted for a man that dismissed climate change, possibly the largest danger to our world, if not the largest danger to our world, as a hoax invented by the Chinese. But you did. Have you no backbone, no principles, no moral lines of which you won't cross? Let me make this clearer. You have two presidential candidates. Both are corrupt, but one admits that he's corrupt. Both have broken the law, but one was actually taken to court and found guilty of breaking the law. Both are liars, but one objectively lies more. Both are establishment stooges, but one doesn't boast that she's a part of the establishment. One has blood of millions on her hands. The other tells you that he can make rivers of red flow larger than her. Have you no passion for human rights? Have you no passion for the environment? Have you no passion for your fellow American? He would leave your wives, your mothers, your daughters, your aunts, and your sisters' legs bloody and bruised and tell them to give birth to monsters. He would leave your family in financial ruin when a married and responsible couple find out they're pregnant but can't afford it. He would let your women die. That if they don't get an abortion, it will cost them their life. But no, he says we should take away their rights. And you've got nothing to say? He would have black men hounded by the police and harassed by the police. Can you imagine the bodies we'll bury? He would have immigrants who commit less crime than their citizen counterparts. In the name of fear and money, he claims he can save and deport them in camps. Has your hatred filled your heart so much your eyes can't see past your veins? He would destroy this country's economy, like he's destroyed so many of his businesses. And yet you think he's fit to be leader of the world's largest economy. Have you gone mad? Is this con so hard to see through? You'll say anything to convince yourself you aren't being played. My country hasn't gone insane, and I stand here with my head spinning in circles. I'm not embarrassed to be American. I'm embarrassed for humankind and recklessness of which someone would choose the objectively worst option because you've got something to prove. You don't care about corruption. You don't care about criminality. You don't care about the rights of gays. You don't care about misogyny. You don't care about the economy. You don't care about patching up the racial divide. You don't care about the deaths of Muslims. You don't care about our international relationships. You don't care about preventing war. You don't care about the broken political system or the political establishment. You don't care about your rights. You don't care about America. You don't care about the truth, and you don't live in reality. We're screwed because half of the country would vote for a lying, corrupt establishment stooge who's racist, sexist, Islamophobic, bigoted, a con man. who will allow himself to ruin our economy, take health care from poor people, commit war crimes and genocide in the name of the American nation, violate your constitutional rights, and then you think we should be proud of this moment in history? There are those who think we're okay. He's not gonna do much, that have faith in our American democracy. Do you still? Because the party that elected him makes up the majority of the Senate now. Because the party that elected him makes up the majority of the House of Representatives. Because the party that elected him makes up the majority of the Supreme Court, and when he says kneels, Republicans go on their knees. But you would still naively say to have faith in our American democracy, to have faith in our systems of checks and balances. Well, I don't know if you realize there is nothing balanced about where we are at right now. They say about this election that this is the choice between the lesser of two evils. So I have a question. What happens when a person picks the greatest evil? Where are we now? I have no faith in American democracy. I have no faith in my fellow man. I have no faith in this country. None of this is gonna be the path that we choose to go. And you shouldn't either. Because we're screwed. And so many of you know it. But nobody can say it. Because you're too brainwashed to see it. Jesus Christ.